So my colleague in CBC's business unit, Sophia Harris, she recently wrote a story where she points out this really fascinating thing about Vector. So we bought a box, and right here on the front you could see in bold numbers 13 grams of protein, which is pretty high for a breakfast cereal, except there's a little tiny, you won't be able to see it because it's so tiny, but there's a little but wait symbol, which means there's a catch. So the catch is a bowl only has that much protein if you include the protein from milk. And reading the nutritional information, the milk is most of the protein. The flakes alone, as it says here, are only 5.6 grams of protein. The other 7.4 is milk, which I don't need to tell you doesn't come in the box. So the box is basically saying we have 13 grams of protein per bowl as long as you add 7 yourself, which is not how anyone I know understands food labels. Now, there are two fascinating things about this. One, this is perfectly legal, even defensible, and I'll explain why at the end of this segment. But two, it's just one of many reasons we sometimes feel misled at the grocery store, like we're paying the same or more for less than we think. Let's go through the ways. Skimpflation is when a company changes up its recipe to use cheaper or fewer ingredients. And I'll show you here an example. So Quaker Dips granola bars. Are they made of chocolate chip or are they made of chocolatey chip? The old chocolate chip version has a milk chocolate coating made with cocoa butter, but the chocolatey chip version uses a substitute, palm oil.
Well, there's often two reasons for that. One is, if there's a supply chain problem, there is a product that's currently not available, maybe a bad growing season, then a company has to find an alternative. The other form of skimpflation is when a company purposely switches to a cheaper ingredient to save money.
This is a big deal with the price of cocoa beans these days. And in both Canada and the US, you can't call a product chocolate if it's not made from cocoa. So Quaker, owned by Pepsi, switches out cocoa butter for the much cheaper substitute, sells you what seems to be the same product, replaces the word chocolate with chocolatey, but if the taste is slightly off, now you know why. Here's another example. We've got Wishbone House Italian salad dressing.
The one on the left has more oil in it. So they took out some of the oil and they seemingly replaced it with water and salt. That saved them money.
And the lower oil content lines up with the lower fat content and calorie count. You can see that right at the label here. Total fat 9 grams, calories per serving 90 compared to 7 grams of fat for the smaller, less oil version and 70 calories per serving. You can see all of that on the label. Edgar Dworsky catalogs every example he can find of skimpflation on his website, mouseprint.org, dedicated to magnifying the fine print, whether it's diluted cough syrup or margarine that uses dramatically less vegetable oil, replacing it with water instead.
I think because of inflation, we're seeing more examples of skimpflation.
Now, I don't want to suggest that this is new or that it's even limited to groceries, right? Like when companies struggle, services get scaled back. That was true when Disneyland scaled back its free trams between park and parking lot, or when you go to a restaurant and the service is slow because they're understaffed. And yes, food manufacturers do the same thing, reformulating their recipes to deal with the same pressures. But it flies a bit more under the radar, right? Like when the ingredients change, it's not as easy for us to measure or even notice as a consumer.
Shrinkflation is when a company reduces the weight of a product but doesn't reduce the price and typically not the packaging. And that makes it really difficult to detect.
Like skimpflation, shrinkflation has been a thing for many years, but I think came into sharper focus worldwide during the pandemic. Unknowingly paying the same price for less product became such a big problem that Hungary just announced it's going to require large grocery stores to put warnings on products that have shrunk in size. And shrinkflation got special mention in a Canadian government news release late last year, announcing an investigation into practices that hurt consumers. Because it's everywhere.
The reason? Some manufacturers would rather shrink the package than raise their prices.
Their costs are increasing, therefore the profits are going to decrease if they don't make any modifications.
There's actually a whole subreddit devoted to people posting examples of shrinkflation where products just keep getting smaller and smaller, like this. Fewer grams of toothpaste in the toothpaste tube. You can see 96.4 grams for the smaller, newer version, 116 grams for the old tube. Or there's this, 12 packs of snacks becoming 8 packs with the same price. And I can zoom in here. So these snacks, you can see the net weight, 600 grams. For the 12 pack, that's $8. But if you look at the 8 pack and I zoom in, that's 400 grams net weight for the same price. Or check this out, chewing gum. Pack of gum with a new and improved grip enhancement. Let's scroll past there. Tea lights getting smaller year over year, and calendars consolidating weekends into a single page.
I think it's here to stay in the sense that even if you know about shrinkflation like I do, it's still hard to detect. I mean, you have to sort of memorize the weight of every product so you can catch them because, again, the packaging looks the same.
Shelfflation is a much lesser known term, I think, than the first two that we've gone through.
Are you finding yourself throwing out more food than usually lately?
And I've been hearing so many stories about, rotting produce in grocery stores. Quality is really not consistent right now.
Shelfflation is when disruptions to the supply chain lead to unfresh or overripe fruits and vegetables making their way onto store shelves. Sylvain Charlebois, who you just saw there, he's a food researcher, also a podcaster at Dalhousie University.
It struck a chord with me because, we buy some fresh fruits and vegetables and we were literally looking, hey, I just bought this and I've already seen fungus in my blueberries. What's going on?
So you've seen some yourself?
Absolutely, and we've experienced it. In other words, we got to go out and buy more blueberries because half this pack is already compromised.
According to last year's Canada Food Price Report, 63% of Canadians responding in a survey noted that they had to throw away food prematurely, at least once in the last 6 months. Now, I should say, like all of the other inflations that we've gone through so far, it's hard to meaningfully quantify just how prevalent this is or how much it costs the average shopper, per month or per year. It's just not tracked on a comprehensive national scale. But the last problem we'll touch on involves some very easy to understand numbers. And it's something Canadian politicians have repeatedly demanded answers for.
Grocery chain profits are not the reason for food inflation. And as I mentioned...
Profit is too much profit.
Well, so a company needs some degree of profit.
Record profits, more than you've ever made,
Singh,
ever?
That was the NDP's Jagmeet Singh grilling the then head of Loblaw, Galen Weston. The charge, prices are through the roof and grocery chain profits are too.
Reflation is when a company, raises the price of a product, not because they need to, it's not justified by rising production costs, but because they want to boost their bottom line.
In 2022, the three largest grocers, Loblaws, Sobeys, and Metro, combined had more than $100 billion in food sales, $3.6 billion of that profit. The most recent expectation for 2023 was that grocery profits would exceed $6 billion. In a report from Canada's Competition Bureau, we saw Canada's largest grocers' food gross margins generally increase by a modest yet meaningful amount over the last 5 years. That's what people who are angry about the state of food prices call greedflation. This idea that grocery giants aren't just passing on higher costs due to, inflation, the pandemic, the war in Ukraine, et cetera, but that they're using this inflationary period to disguise the push to make prices and profits even higher.
So they figure if someone complains, they can just say it's because of inflation. There's sort of a good excuse out there if anyone calls them on it.
Now, major grocery chains have defended themselves, saying that their profits are still only a very small percentage of overall sales, in the low single digits.
How much profit is too much profit?
We're a big company and the numbers are very large, but it still translates right down to the bottom line at $1 per $25 of groceries. We are actively losing money on core commodities, milk, vegetable oil, butter, certain cheeses.
But without more transparency in the industry, it's hard for anyone to know exactly what is excess profiteering and what's just a business being a business.
Essentially, if inflation goes down, prices go down, and if companies are profiteering, then when inflation goes down, they're going to have to stop profiteering because they can no longer point to that as an excuse. That's probably going to be the best way for prices to drop.
So that's where we land. Skimpflation, shrinkflation, shelfflation, greedflation. Some of the biggest ways we see general inflation being a royal pain when it comes to the food we buy. If we missed any, or if you have any examples you want to share, let us know. But before we go, as promised, the box of Vector. Why it's perfectly above board to label this as 13 grams of protein a bowl when what comes in the box only gives you less than half that. Well, Vector is a special case. If you thought it was a cereal, you're wrong. It's considered a meal replacement. You can see that just in the bottom right corner of the box. And according to Health Canada, meal replacements just have different rules. The most important one being it needs milk to be a complete product. So the claims can include milk. Plus, if you look hard enough, they're honest about all of that. They disclose in small print that, this is the number for flakes plus milk, and in the nutritional label, again, if you look closely enough, they give the numbers for both the standalone flakes only product and the combined flakes plus milk product. So the fact that you find Vector in the cereal aisle and not in, say, the supplements aisle doesn't matter. Rules are rules, and like so much of what we've explored today, we just have to know better.